हेलो बच्चों, कैसे हो आप सभी। तो आई होप आपने प्रीवियस लेक्चर देखा होगा प्लांट टिश्यू और एनिमल टिश्यू का। उसके पहले मुझे आपको एक याद दिलाने दो कि हमने हमारा ऐप लॉन्च किया है यूनिफॉर्म एस्पिरेंट्स। यहाँ पे देखो, ये हमारा सिंबल है। तो ये आप अगर डाउनलोड नहीं किया है तो आप जाइए और प्ले स्टोर पे ये अवेलेबल है, ये प्लीज डाउनलोड कीजिए। वहाँ पे आपको लाइव लेक्चर्स मिलेंगे, फिर रिकॉर्डेड लेक्चर्स, पीपीटी और मॉक टेस्ट सब अवेलेबल होगा। और ये जो मैं सिखा रही हूँ ये सब एनोटेशन और विदाउट एनोटेशन सब वहां पे मिलेगा। सो डोंट वरी ऑफ मेकिंग नोट्स, यू हैव टू जस्ट कॉन्सेंट्रेट एंड लिसन व्हाट आई एम टीचिंग। ओके, बहुत ही इजी टॉपिक है, हम सीखेंगे आज। तो हम आज क्या पढ़ेंगे? डिजीजेस पढ़ेंगे। हम आज क्या पढ़ेंगे? डिजीजेस पढ़ेंगे कि हमें डिजीजेस कैसे मतलब इन्फेक्ट होती है और क्या होता है, किसकी वजह से होती है। ओके, अभी आपको पता ही होगा कि कोरोना वायरस आया था, उसकी वजह से पैंडेमिक हुआ था और हम सब घर पे थे 1 साल के 1.5 ईयर के लिए, और बहुत ही मतलब बड़ा हुआ था, कोई बाहर नहीं जाता था, राइट। तो वो क्यों हुआ था? वो पैंडेमिक डिजीज था। पैंडेमिक डिजीज मतलब क्या होता है? वेरी वाइड स्प्रेड डिजीज, मतलब कंट्री टू कंट्री, बहुत सारे कंट्रीज में होता है और फास्ट स्प्रेड होता है। तो वो एक वायरल डिसऑर्डर था, मतलब वायरस था इसके लिए। ओके, नाउ हम डिजीजेस स्टार्ट करते हैं। हम सबसे पहले पढ़ेंगे वायरस ही। ओके, वायरस है। तो लेट मी टेल यू फर्स्ट थिंग अबाउट वायरस कि वायरस क्या होता है। तो वायरस एक मतलब वायरस अगर हमारे बॉडी के बाहर है, होस्ट के बाहर है, तो वो होता है नॉन लिविंग। बट अगर वो होस्ट के अंदर है, वो लिविंग होस्ट के अंदर है, तो वो होता है लिविंग। ओके, अभी वायरस का देखो कैसे है। अगर वो मतलब लिविंग होस्ट के अंदर घुस जाता है तो वो बनता है लिविंग, अदरवाइज वो बाहर है, अगर कहीं पे भी है तो वो होता है नॉन लिविंग। ओके, अभी वायरस सबसे छोटा होता है, बैक्टीरिया से भी वायरस छोटा होता है। तो वायरस कैन इन्फेक्ट बैक्टीरिया ऑल्सो, प्लांट्स एंड एनिमल्स, ऑल ऑफ देम। ओके, और वायरस की एक इंपॉर्टेंट चीज क्या है? वायरस के पास दोनों नहीं होता, आरएनए और डीएनए। वायरस कैन ईदर हैव आरएनए और ईदर हैव डीएनए। वायरसेस कैन ईदर हैव आरएनए और ईदर डीएनए। लेकिन हमारे ह्यूमन बॉडी में हमारे पास दोनों होता है, आरएनए भी होता है और डीएनए भी होता है। लेकिन वायरसेस का वैसा नहीं है। उसका कैसा है? उसके पास ईदर आरएनए होता है या फिर ईदर डीएनए होता है। चलो नाउ व्हाट I will read this. Not true living. मैंने क्या बोला? अगर वो होस्ट की बॉडी के बाहर है तो it is not true living. But it is inside living host, then it is living. Okay. The viruses are non-cellular organism. Yes, we know this. Viruses are non-cellular organisms. अभी उनका स्ट्रक्चर कैसा होता है? Outside living cell, inert crystalline structure. What is structure of virus outside the host? Inert crystalline structure. लेकिन अगर वो लिविंग बॉडी में घुस जाता है, वो होस्ट का स्ट्रक्चर लेगा वो, तो फिर क्या है? इनसाइड लिविंग सेल टेक ओवर द मशीनरी ऑफ होस्ट सेल टू रेप्लिकेट देमसेल्फ एंड किलिंग द होस्ट। मतलब वो क्या करता है? पहले तो वो आउटसाइड नॉन लिविंग होता है, लेकिन वो लिविंग होस्ट में घुस जाता है, वो लिविंग बन जाता है और वो होस्ट को ही खाने लगता है और फिर होस्ट को ही किल करता है। यू आर गेटिंग? वायरसेस ऑब्लिगेट पैरासाइट्स। व्हाट इज मेंट बाय ऑब्लिगेट पैरासाइट्स? ऑब्लिगेट पैरासाइट्स मतलब अ लिविंग बीइंग और सम organism which is dependent on its host, host के ऊपर निर्भर रहता है, उसे क्या बोलते हैं? obligate parasites. Okay, obligate parasite, it is called as obligate parasites. In addition to protein, viruses also contain genetic material that could be either RNA or DNA. I told you that viruses contains either RNA or either DNA or DNA, but human body contains both RNA and DNA. And what I told you, virus is in fact bacteria, plants and animals. Now we'll see here. Now we'll see here. See, no viruses contain both RNA and DNA. They do not have both RNA and DNA, but our human body has both RNA and DNA. Okay, now chalo. See this, much smaller than bacteria. What is the size of virus? It is much smaller than bacteria, and it can infect bacteria, plants and animals. Now see here. A virus that infect plants have single stranded RNA. What it has, this is important. This is very much important. Listen here. Viruses, a virus that infect plants have single stranded RNA virus. RNA. Viruses that infect animals have either single or double stranded RNA or double stranded DNA. मतलब वायरस जो क्या करता है? बैक्टीरिया को इन्फेक्ट करता है, देखो, वायरस जो बैक्टीरिया को इन्फेक्ट करता है वो क्या होता है, डबल स्टैंडर्ड डीएनए वायरस। क्या होता है, डबल स्टैंडर्ड डीएनए वायरस। लेकिन वायरस जो प्लांट्स को इन्फेक्ट करता है वो क्या होता है, सिंगल स्टैंडर्ड आरएनए। सिंगल स्टैंडर्ड, प्लांट्स के लिए सिंगल स्टैंडर्ड आरएनए, फिर एनिमल्स के लिए ईदर सिंगल और डबल स्टैंडर्ड आरएनए और डबल स्टैंडर्ड डीएनए, और बैक्टीरिया के लिए बैक्टीरिया के लिए क्या होता है, डबल स्टैंडर्ड डीएनए वायरस। डबल, बैक्टीरिया के लिए ओनली डबल स्टैंडर्ड डीएनए virus. For plants it is single stranded RNA virus, and for animals it is double stranded RNA or double stranded DNA, or it can be single also. Okay, chalo. Now listen, the protein coat protects the nucleic acid. The protein coat, see here, the protein coat protects the nucleic acid, the protein. Listen now here, this is a protein coat. This is a protein coat. You can see this image. You can see this image. This is a protein coat. This is a protein coat. This is a protein coat. This is called as capsid. What it is called as capsid. And inside that, RNA is covered by this capsid, protein coat. This is a protein coat. Okay. And this one subcell is called as proteins. This is a protein subunit, and it is named that see now here. The protein coat protects the nucleic acid. Coat called as capsid. This protein coat is called as capsid, made up of small subunits called as capsomers. What it is called? This is called as capsomer. It is called as capsomer. What it is called as capsomer. Disease caused by viruses in plants. Symptoms such as mosaic formation. आपने यहाँ पे देखा होगा, देखो, this is a leaf. This is a plant's leaf. There are patches of yellow color, green color like this on plants. This is because of virus. Okay. Mosaic formation, leaf rolling and coloring yellow and vein clearing, drafting and stunned growth. Means plants, when viruses infect plants, then what happened, either the color changes, like they turn into yellow color. मतलब यहाँ पे ऐसे पैचेस आ जाते हैं, यहाँ पे ऐसे लीफ पे पैचेस आ जाते हैं, समझा? जस्ट अ मिनट, यहाँ पे क्या हो जाता है, पैचेस आ जाते हैं लिप्स पे। अभी वीरॉइड क्या है, वीरॉइड वायरस ही है। वीरॉइड क्या है, वीरॉइड वायरस है, लेकिन वो वायरस से भी छोटा होता है। और वीरॉइड क्या करता है, एनिमल्स को हार्म नहीं करता, वो सिर्फ प्लांट्स, मतलब वो वेजिटेबल्स को हार्म करता है, वो वेजिटेबल्स में इन्फेक्ट होता है। वो क्या होता है, वेजिटेबल्स में इन्फेक्ट होता है। अभी यहाँ पे देखिए क्या होता है, वीरॉइड्स। आपने पोटैटो को देखा होगा, पोटैटो में होता है। फॉर एग्जांपल यहाँ पे देखो, वीरॉइड्स क्या होता है, सिर्फ वेजिटेबल्स में होता है। कहाँ, किसको होता है, वीरॉइड्स वेजिटेबल्स में, और वो क्या होता है, स्मॉलर देन वायरस होता है। अभी यहाँ पे देखो, यहाँ पे पोटैटो का इमेज है। ये व्हाट इज दिस, पोटैटो इमेज। पोटैटो को ये हुआ है वायरस। इन्फेक्शियस एजेंट दैट वाज स्मॉलर देन वायरसेस। मैंने क्या बोला था, वायरस से भी छोटा होता है वीरॉइड्स, करेक्ट। ओके, कॉज पोटैटो स्पिंडल ट्यूबर डिजीजेस। पोटैटो स्पिंडल ट्यूबर डिजीजेस होता है, क्या होता है, पोटैटो स्पिंडल ट्यूबर डिजीजेस। हैव फ्री आरएनए बट लैक ऑफ प्रोटीन कोट। हमने देखा था पिछली स्लाइड में कि कैप्सिड होता है, यहाँ पे होता है क्या, नहीं, दे डू नॉट हैव प्रोटीन कोटिंग फाउंड इन वायरसेस। द आरएनए ऑफ द वीरॉइड वाज ऑफ लो मॉलिक्यूलर वेट के होते, कम वेट के होते हैं। और ये डिस्कवर किसने किया है, टीओ डाइनर ने 1971 में। ओके, किसने डिस्कवर किया है, टीओ डाइनर ने। ओके, चलो, नाउ लाइकेंस, यू नो, वंस यू माइट हैव गॉन इन केमिस्ट्री लैब। ओके, तो वहां पे केमिस्ट्री लैब में आपको एसिड और बेस ऐसे चेक करने के लिए, देखो स्कूल या कॉलेज में दिया होगा कि लिटमस पेपर होता है। तो वो लिटमस पेपर किससे बना होता है, लाइकेंस से। किससे बना होता है वो, लाइकेंस के। किससे बना होता है वो, लाइकेंस के। तो फिर वो ये क्या है, तो ये सिम्बायोटिक रिलेशन है एल्गाई और फंगाई का, एल्गी और फंगाई का। किसका, एल्गी और फंगाई का। अभी ये एल्गी हमें पता है एल्गी क्या है, तो प्लांट टाइप है। प्लांट टाइप है मतलब क्या है, तो एल्गी फोटोसिंथेसिस करता है, एल्गी फूड प्रोड्यूस करता है, वी नो दैट। और फंगाई का है, फंगाई तो फूड प्रोड्यूस ही नहीं कर सकता, राइट। फंगाई तो फूड प्रोड्यूस ही नहीं कर सकता, वो फोटोसिंथेसिस कर ही नहीं सकता। तो फिर ये लाइकेंस क्या है, ये सिम्बायोटिक रिलेशन है, सिम्बायोटिक रिलेशन है एल्गाई और फंगाई का, एल्गाई और फंगाई का। लेकिन ये क्या करता है, फंगाई एल्गाई को स्पेस देता है रहने के लिए, मतलब फंगाई प्रोवाइड्स स्पेस एंड एल्गाई क्या करता है, फोटोसिंथेसिस करता है। और फंगाई क्या करता है, न्यूट्रिशंस वगैरह लेता है सराउंडिंग से, और एल्गी क्या करता है, फोटोसिंथेसिस करता है। ओके, नाउ देयर आर डिजीज रिलेटेड टू लाइकेंस आल्सो। ओके, विल सी दिस नाउ, what are those diseases? ओके, और इसे पाइकोबियंट कहते हैं, मतलब लाइकेन का जो एल्गी कंपोनेंट है उसे बोलते हैं पाइकोबियंट, और जो फंगाई कंपोनेंट है उसे बोलते हैं माइकोबियंट। ओके, अभी देखो लाइकेंस आर सिम्बायोटिक रिलेशन, हमने ये देखा, मैंने बोला एल्गी और फंगाई का सिम्बायोटिक रिलेशन होता है म्यूचुअली यूजफुल कैसे होता है, तो एल्गाई क्या करेगा, वो फोटोसिंथेसिस करेगा, फूड प्रोवाइड करेगा फंगाई को। व्हाट फंगाई विल डू, इट विल गिव स्पेस टू एल्गाई टू लिव देयर। ओके, हाँ, अभी क्या होता है, प्रिपेयर फूड, देखो यहाँ पे वही लिखा है, प्रिपेयर फूड, फंगाई प्रोवाइड शेल्टर एंड एब्जॉर्ब्स मिनरल न्यूट्रिएंट्स। मैंने बोला सराउंडिंग में से क्या ऑब्जर्व करता है, न्यूट्रिएंट्स ऑब्जर्व करता है और स्पेस देता है एल्गाई को रहने के लिए। और वाटर फॉर एल्गल पार्टनर एंड वाटर फॉर एल्गल, वाटर भी ऑब्जर्व करता है। ओके, वेरी इजी। नाउ व्हाट आर द डिजीजेस, दे आर मोस्टली स्किन डिसऑर्डर्स बिकॉज ऑफ लाइकेंस। विल सी दिस, व्हाट आर द स्किन disorders now? Okay, what are the skin disorders now? Now see, diseases caused by viruses. We have seen viruses, what is viruses, and viroids we have seen. Okay, and lichens we have seen. Now we will see diseases caused by viruses. Okay, now see here, diseases caused by viruses. Cold, we have cold. Why we get cold? Because of contact of something, or because of eating ice cream or something like that, we get cold. But why we get it? Because of virus. This is because of virus. Virus gets into our body. फिर flu है, smallpox है, measles है, mumps है, AIDS है, यहाँ पे क्वामास है एक्चुअली। यहाँ पे देखो कोल्ड है और फ्लू है, स्मॉल पॉक्स एक ही है, यहाँ पे क्वामा है, यहाँ पे मम्स है, एड्स है, एड्स एक सेक्सुअल डिसऑर्डर है, इबोला, चिकन पॉक्स, चिकन पॉक्स यू गेट वंस इन अ लाइफ टाइम। देन रेबीज है, रेबीज वी गेट बिकॉज ऑफ बाइट ऑफ वी कैन से डॉग्स एंड कैट्स। देन हेपेटाइटिस, पोलियो also is caused by virus only. Okay, now common cold. Now see what we have seen here, that viruses की वजह से कौन सी डिसीजेस होती है, तो कोल्ड होता है, कोल्ड होता है, फ्लू होता है, स्मॉल पॉक्स होती है, मिजल्स होता है, मम्स होता है, एड्स होता है, ये सब डिजीज होती है। अभी कोल्ड क्यों होता है, कोल्ड और फ्लू ये देखेंगे हम। ओके, यहाँ पे देखो कोल्ड फ्लू, पैथोजन, व्हाट इज मेंट बाय पैथोजन, यू नो पैथोजन मतलब जो जिसकी वजह से हो रहा है, मतलब कौन सा वायरस है उसकी वजह से हमें डिजीज हो रहा है, उसे हम पैथोजन कहते हैं। ओके, उसे हम पैथोजन कहते हैं। तो पैथोजन यहाँ पे कॉमन कोल्ड एकदम कॉमन कोल्ड किसकी वजह से होता है, राइनो वायरसेस की वजह से। किसकी वजह से होता है, बिकॉज ऑफ राइनो वायरसेस। मोड ऑफ इन्फेक्शन क्या है, ड्रॉपलेट्स, डायरेक्ट कांटेक्ट आता है, स्नीजिंग वगैरह डायरेक्ट कांटेक्ट होता है वैसे, उसकी वजह से। ट्रांसमिटेड थ्रू कंटामिनेटेड ऑब्जेक्ट्स सच एज पेन्स, बुक्स। अगर इन्फेक्टेड पर्सन के पास वो जो बुक्स है वो हमारे कांटेक्ट में आ गई तो हमें हो सकता है। ओके, अफेक्टेड ऑर्गन, व्हाट इज अफेक्टेड ऑर्गन, नोज, नोज मीन्स नॉस्ट्रिल्स वगैरह। और फिर रेस्पिरेटरी बट नॉट द लंग्स, मतलब रेस्पिरेटरी ट्रैक होता है ये इनफेक्ट, बट लंग्स होती नहीं है इनफैक्ट, ओनली क्या होता है इनफैक्ट नोज और रेस्पिरेटरी ट्रैक बट नॉट लंग्स। ओके, अभी सिम्टम्स क्या है, नसल कॉन्जेक्शन एंड डिस्चार्ज, सोर थ्रोट, रेडनेस एंड हॉर्नेस, कफ, हेडेक एंड टायर्डनेस. If you have anything like this, if you are getting either a simple cold, then also you will feel tired, you will feel not to do anything, not to study. Okay, like that you feel, right? Okay, chalo. Now bacteria. Now what we learned first, we learned about virus, that it is not a living organism. It depends on host. It is obligate parasitic. And what we learned more, that it does not have DNA and RNA both. It can either have DNA or either RNA. But our human body has both DNA and RNA. Okay, now we learned about viroids also. Viroids are only they only affect vegetables, and they are smaller than viruses, and they do not have protein coat. Right, now it means they do not have capsid. Now what we learn about bacteria. We learned about lichens also. What is lichens? It is a symbiotic relation between algae and fungi. What does algae do? Algae does photosynthesis and provides food to fungi. But what is fungi? Fungi gives space to for algae to live in it. And what does fungi do? It absorbs nutrients and water for algae. Okay, now what we will learn, and because of lichens we get many skin disorders. Okay, now what is and because of viroid we get potato spindle diseases. We means potato gets potato spindle diseases. Okay, now bacteria. Now we'll learn about bacteria. First, before learning, try to understand in bacteria. It has different shapes. Like it will have spiral shape, it will have rod like shape, it will have circular shape. Okay, now see, bacteria are grouped under 4 categories based on their shape. Now see, it is written here. Bacteria are grouped under 4 categories. So what are those four categories? Coccus. Then what is coccus? Then bacillus, spirillum, and vibrio. Vibrio means quama like this. Okay, and coccus means spherical shape, and bacillus means a rod like shape, and spirillum means like this shape. Okay, like this. Now here it is given, see, spherical shape it is. Okay, so they are divided into 4 categories. They are divided. This is flagellum. They are divided into 4 categories. This is vibrio. I told you quama like shape. Okay, it is quama like shape. And this is bacillus. This is rod like shape. Here it is a spore. Okay, this is flagellum. Flagellum means it help in motility. Help in motility means it helps in movement of the organism cell. Bacteria doesn't have mitochondria. It is prokaryotic, right? Bacteria is a prokaryotic, so it will not have mitochondria. Only eukaryotic organisms have mitochondria. We know that. So bacteria does not have mitochondria. Yes, we know that bacteria does not have mitochondria. Reproduction in bacteria. Now bacteria reproduces by both, means sexual and asexual. Remember that bacteria reproduces by both sexual and asexual. Now see, reproduction in reproduction in bacteria. Bacteria reproduce mainly by fission. Fission means it is a asexual reproduction. Fission means like this. It happens now like that. Fission means it is a asexual reproduction. And then sometimes under unfavorable conditions they produce spores, and they also reproduce by a sort of sexual reproduction by adopting a primitive type of DNA transfer. Means they produce also sexual reproduce they also reproduce sexually by adopting DNA type of a DNA transfer from one bacterium to the other. Means they can even accept, if they are accepting a DNA material, then they are reproducing sexually. If they are means if there is a fission means like this, no? Fission. If there is a fission, then they are reproducing asexually. Okay. Now see, what are the diseases? And you know, by bacteria we can recall this also, by the way. Bacteria. What we can recall by bacteria? It has cell wall. Yes. It has cell wall. It has plasma membrane. Yes. It has plasma membrane. Yes, it has plasma membrane. Okay, now what is cell wall? Cell wall is made up of peptidoglycan. And plasma membrane. Now we know that cell wall, plasma membrane is selectively permeable membrane. Means it allows only specific things to come in, right? But this cell wall is not. It allows all of them to come in. Okay. Okay, chalo, this is about cell wall. You understood this. Now see, we will see the diseases. What are the diseases because of bacteria? So what are the diseases? Cholera. What are the diseases? Cholera. Then typhoid. Then typhoid because of, because of contaminated water. Contaminated means very, very bad water, dirty water and food, we get typhoid. Like for example, you are eating a street food and there are many flies on that, and if you eat that, or if you drink dirty water whenever traveling or something, then after some days you get typhoid. Like immediately only you'll get typhoid. Then tetanus, citrus canker. Then these are caused by what? So vibrio. See here, the vibrio. Just a minute. This is caused by what? Cholera is caused by what? Vibrio cholera. Vibrio cholera. Vibrio is a comma like shape, na? Salmonella typhi. Typhoid is for typhoid. Pathogen of typhoid is Salmonella typhi. Then tetanus. Tetanus is Clostridium tetani. Clostridium tetani. You can understand by this also. See, here subnames are there. Like the root names are there. TH, TYPH, here TYPH. Here cholera, here also cholera. Okay. Then citrus canker is this is citrus canker's pathogen is Xanthomonas citri. Xanthomonas citri. Okay. Now see here, list of diseases caused by bacteria. Now what is caused by bacteria? See here, what is caused by bacteria? Pneumonia. We know there is so much cough, and whenever our lung gets so much cough and everything, then we have pneumonia. Our nails turn like bluish in color. Our eyes also starts looking like a pale eye. Okay, then this is cholera. Okay, cholera, tetanus, gonorrhea, then leprosy, tuberculosis. Then this is a sexual disorder. Okay, then pertussis is plague also. Scarlet fever. Okay, these are the some, you can remember some of them. Okay, chalo. A wide range of organisms belonging to bacteria. Now see, bacteria, viruses, fungi, protozoa, helminths, etc. could cause diseases in man. Such causing organisms are called as pathogen. I told you by which virus or bacteria or anything, if we are getting infected and we are facing a disease, then that in which organism is infecting us is called as pathogen. It is called as pathogen. Okay, now typhoid. Now we will see about some typhoid, means some bacterial diseases. Typhoid is pathogen. What is pathogen? Because we are getting infected because of that. Salmonella typhi bacteria. Mode of infection is, I told you, contaminated food and water. Contaminated means dirty, bad. Contaminated means dirty, bad. Affected organ, small intestine. In our small intestine full digestion takes place. That is only affected in typhoid. Then symptoms: sustained high fever, very much high fever, weakness, stomach pain, as it is getting affected, small intestine is getting affected, so we have stomach pain, constipation, headache, and loss of appetite. Loss of appetite means what? That our what we say, that our wish of having food, like that our love for having food goes in those days of typhoid. Okay, whenever we get affected of typhoid, we don't feel like eating or having food, we just don't like it. Typhoid fever could be confirmed by Vidal test. What is this Vidal test? This Vidal test is blood test. Okay, this Vidal test is blood test. Okay, now we'll go on next. What is pneumonia? What is pneumonia? I told you that where does pneumonia, because of pneumonia what happens? Our alveoli gets infected, our lungs gets infected. So what is pathogen? Streptococcus. Now what is coccus? Coccus means spherical shape. Streptococcus pneumonia pneumonia and hemiphilia influenza bacteria. Now affected organ, I told you alveoli means what? Alveoli means exchange of gases takes place. And which tissue is there in alveoli? You know, simple squamous epithelial tissue. We have learned in previous lecture, simple squamous epithelial tissue. So the alveoli, what happens? Alveoli gets affected when we have pneumonia disease. Okay, what are the symptoms? Symptoms are fever, chills, then cough and headache. Our head starts paining, there is lots of fever, cough. So it's very much because it gets alveoli is getting affected now. Lots of cough in pneumonia. Lips and finger, nails turn gray, nails turn gray to bluish in color. Our nails turn gray to bluish in color. It start turning gray to bluish in color, means in bluish color they start turning. Okay. Okay, now protozoans. What we learned first? We learned about viruses, then we learned about viroids, then we learned about lichens, then we learned about bacteria. Now we learn about protozoa. Now just recall it. Now see, viruses depend on host, right? They are obligate parasites. Obligate parasites means the organisms which depend on host for their living. Like if they are outside the host, then they are non-living, but if they are inside the host, then they are living. They cannot have both, like RNA and DNA, both they cannot have. And human body has both RNA and DNA, right? They have outside covering of protein, right? Inside there is RNA. Then viruses are smaller than bacteria. They can infect bacteria, trees and plants and animals. Okay, bacteria, plants and animals. Okay, then when viruses infect bacteria, how they infect them? By double stranded DNA. Then when they infect animals, how they infect them? By double stranded RNA or single stranded RNA or double stranded DNA. And when they infect plants, how they infect them? By single stranded RNA. Okay, remember this. Then bacteria, we have seen bacteria, there are 4 groups of bacteria according to their shape. What is those? Coccus, vibrio. Coccus is spherical shape, vibrio is comma like shape. Then spiralium means spiral like shape, and then rod like shape. Yes, we have done this. Yes, see here, rod like shape, and bacillus rod like shape, and spirillum like spiral shape. Okay, then diseases caused by bacteria, we have seen pneumonia, cholera. This is cholera. Okay, now we will come on protozoas. Now see here, protozoas are parasitic. Remember that. See, all protozoas are heterotropics. All protozoas are heterotropics and live as predators, parasites. What is meant by parasites? The one who intake its food on living being. Means the one who eats living being, who is already living, and intakes his food based on living being. It's called as parasites. Okay, parasites means, for example, parasite, lice. In hairs it is lice. That is a parasitic insect. Okay. Now there are 4 major groups. In parasites also there are 4 major groups. First is amoeboid protozoa, and second is flagellated protozoas, Now see, live in fresh water. Amoeboid protozoa live in fresh water, marine seawater. They can live in fresh water or marine seawater or moist soil. They live in moist soil also. Our moist soil means it has more content of water, that moist soil. Marine forms have silica cells on their surface. Have silica cells. They have silica shells on their surface. Okay, flagellated means flagellated by this only name only you can recall that. Flagella means there might be something mortality or movement like thing in them. Now we'll read this. Either free living or parasitic, they have flagella. I told you this is flagella because of this movement takes place. It helps in movement. Parasite forms cause diseases such as sleeping sickness. It causes as sleeping sickness. Okay, these are the 2 types. Now we will learn more types. Okay, ciliated protozoa. Ciliated protozoa. What is cilia? Cilia means how fragile was hair-like structure. Later, cilia is also hair-like structure, and it also helps in motility. Means what? In movement of the cell. Now see there, they are aquatic. They are they are aquatic, actively moving due to presence of thousands of cilia. Cilia, I told you, it is like this hairy structure. Because of this movement takes place. Example, paramecium. Example, it's paramecium. And sporozoas means there are spores. By name only we can understand, have an infectious spores like stage in their life cycle. They have spores. Example, plasmodium, which causes malaria is caused by which pathogen? Plasmodium. You know the malaria, it direct infects our red blood cells. Okay, means protozoa, you understand, there is amoeboid protozoa, then it is flagellated protozoa, then we learned ciliated protozoa and sporozoans. Okay, sporozoans means it has spores, then flagellated protozoa means it has protozoa means it has flagella, ciliated protozoa means it has cilia, and this amoeboids protozoa means they are fresh living. They either live in fresh water, marine water, or in moist soil, and silica cells are there. Okay, very easy. Now see, what are the diseases caused by protozoa? So it is Kala azar. Kala azar is caused by Leishmania. Leishmania is pathogen of this. Then malaria is caused by Plasmodium. Then amoebic, then dysentery, then sleeping sickness is caused by Kala azar, then malaria, then amoebic, dysentery, then sleeping sickness. Okay, chalo. Now see, now amoebiasis. What is amoebic dysentery? Now pathogen. What is pathogen here? Pathogen. What is pathogen here? Who is carrying this disease? Entamoeba histolytica protozoa. Mode of infection. What is mode of infection? By contaminated food and water. Contaminated food and water also causes typhoid. Okay, in bacteria. This is in protozoa. Contaminated means dirty. I told you, it is dirty. Contaminated means dirty. Affected organ. In typhoid, affected organ was small intestine. Here, affected organ is large intestine. House flies as mechanical carriers. Who carry this pathogen? House flies. House flies. What are the symptoms? Constipation, abdominal pain, and cramps. More and more cramps, and because there is infection in large intestine. Okay, and who carries this pathogen? House flies. Okay, and it is a protozoa. And what we learned about typhoid, that it is because of contaminated food and water. This is also because of contaminated food and water. But in typhoid, it is affected because of what? It is affected because of bacteria. Okay, it is affected because of bacteria, and infects what? It infects small intestine. Now we'll learn malaria. Okay, just a minute. Malaria. Now what is malaria? Who carries malaria? Now we have seen, it infects our red blood cell. Who is carrying pathogen is plasmodium affected organ. Liver, it infects liver and RBC means red blood cells. Transmitting agent. Who is transmitting agent? Female Anopheles mosquito. Because of mosquito, we know malaria is infected. In malaria is a disease because of mosquito. Who carries? Mosquito carries. Which mosquito? Female Anopheles mosquito. And where it affects liver and RBC, red blood cells. Now Plasmodium falciparum causes most fatal malaria, malignant malaria. Now see, Plasmodium vivax, most common is what? Plasmodium vivax. Now wait, Now see here, plasmodium enters the body as sporozoids. Sporozoids means I told you that we have seen one this type sporozoan, right? Like that it has spore, infectious spore, like that it enters our body, infectious form, through the bite of infected female. Through the bite of infected female, we know that plasmodium is carried by a female and Anopheles mosquito, female Anopheles mosquito, and spores are there are many spores in our body, so it infects on our skin and then enters the body as a sporozoid means infectious spores. It enters through infectious spores. Okay, now see stages in life cycle of plasmodium. First it infects us, then what happens, mature infective stages, then escape from, first see there are many spores on our skin, so that female mosquito comes and then it infects our skin, it bites it, then there are many spores, so from that spore the plasmodium enters our body and escape from gut and migrate to the mosquito salivary glands. Okay, the mosquito salivary glands. Fertilization and development takes place in the mosquito. Fertilization and development takes place. See now, you actually it is like this. See, when it bites, it happens like this. Reach the liver through blood. It reaches the liver through blood. Then what happens? The parasite reproduce sexually in liver cells. In our liver cells, I told you malaria is getting inside our body because of plasmodium, and plasmodium affects directly to the liver and red blood cells, right? So it is affecting our body, means our skin, through it is biting on our spores. From that we get it reach the liver. This is our liver, and through it reaches the liver through blood it reaches liver, and what it does in the liver, reproduces asexually in liver cells. It reproduces in our liver cells asexually and releasing into blood, bursting the cell and releasing into the blood. Then what happened, they reproduce there asexually, and then what happened, they infect now red blood cells. They also infect red blood cells. Okay, and there are many symptoms of this seen here. Okay, sexually staged and developed into red blood cells. First they go from red blood cells to the liver, then they reproduce asexually in the liver, and then what happens, they sexually stages and develops in red blood cells. Okay, female mosquito takes up gametocytes with blood meal. Okay, chalo, now we'll go on next. What is the question now? We'll see this question. Which one of the following is not an epidemic disease? Now what is epidemic disease? There are two types of diseases, epidemic disease and pandemic disease. Let me tell you what is this now. Epidemic disease means what? A disease spreading in a very for example in an area, we can say in a small area or locality a disease is spreading but at a high rate, like that. What is pandemic disease? Pandemic disease is a large scale disease which is spreading at a high rate. Means, for example, it is spreading from one country to the another. Okay, for example, coronavirus is a pandemic disease, like that. This cholera, malaria, smallpox is an epidemic disease from one person to the another. Okay, but this elephantitis is not a epidemic disease. Okay, it is caused because of mosquito. In this elephantitis, what happens, mosquito comes and it bites the limbs. It bites the limbs of the leg. And then our legs start swelling and it looks like elephant leg. That's why the name is elephantitis. Okay, now the disease rickets develop in children due to deficiency of rickets. You know what is meant by rickets? Now see, there are many small children who legs are like this, bent towards inside. Okay, means their knees is outside, facing outside, but their ankles are inside. So this disease, like this, for example, this is like this, they have legs, like these legs they have. This disease is called as rickets. So this is caused by vitamin D. Okay, I'll tell you some extra diseases like causing by C. This vitamin C causes scurvy. Scurvy means what? Like, for example, swelling of gums, like teeth, where our teeth are joined, like swelling of gums, that is scurvy. Okay, then what is vitamin D? Now we have seen rickets. To get vitamin D, we can get it from sunlight, right? Then vitamin A. Vitamin A can cause night blindness. Night blindness because of vitamin A can cause night blindness, or we can say thickening of skin, outer layer of skin. Thickens outer layer of skin. Outer layer of skin. This is caused by vitamin A. And vitamin B causes beriberi disease. Okay, these are some diseases caused because of deficiency of vitamins. Okay. Now we will go on next, which was here they have asked question which is not epidemic disease. That's why elephantitis is not epidemic disease. Okay. Other epidemic diseases like cholera, malaria, and smallpox, they get spread. Now see, deficiency of iron causes. Deficiency of iron causes. Now only I told you scurvy. Scurvy is caused because of deficiency of vitamin C. Rickets is caused because of deficiency of vitamin D. Cholera is caused because of bacteria. Cholera is caused because of bacteria, not because of deficiency. And deficiency of iron causes anemia. Deficiency of iron causes anemia. Okay. Deficiency of iron means was deficiency of we can say red blood cells, very less red blood cells in our body. That's why anemia is caused. Okay. Now see, there are many genetic disorders also. We will see them also. Kwashiorkor, a form of malnutrition, is caused by, this is also a disease actually, and this is caused because of deficiency of protein. Means, for example, there is a specific quantity of a protein required to everybody, right? According to weight, height, everything. But if a person is not getting that much sufficiently, then which disease is caused? Kwashiorkor, and that is because of deficiency of protein. Guys, this all are PYQs. Okay, so please concentrate. And this everything you will get on the app. Okay, now see, which one of the following is caused because of bacterial pathogen? Now we'll discuss this question. Which one of the following is caused because of bacterial pathogen? Now I told you AIDS is a sexual disorder. It is a sexual disorder, I told you. Means it is caused because of physical contact, right? Dengue fever, it is caused because of virus. A mosquito which carries virus and infects a person or a human being, it is called as dengue. Fever. COVID-19, now only we have came facing COVID-19. We have faced such a big pandemic also. So it is virus. a virus. COVID-19 is also a virus. We also said it as corona, right? Virus. So which is a bacterial disorder? Bacterial disorder is only typhoid. So what does typhoid do? What is the pathogen of typhoid? What does typhoid do? Typhoid is caused by bacteria, and typhoid is caused because of contaminated food and water, very dirty, bad quality of food and water. Okay, and it affects directly to the small intestine of human beings. Okay. Now see, apart from hyperacid secretion, peptic ulcers are also developed due to bacterial infection. The causative agent is, what is meant by peptic ulcer? So peptic ulcer are like redness on the skin. That is called as ulcer. Okay, redness on the skin. Thick layer of redness on the skin is called as ulcer. Okay, now see, what is that? It usually happens in our internal mouth. Okay, that ulcers. Now see, apart from hyperacid secretion, peptic ulcers are also developed due to bacterial infection. The causative agent is, so its causative agent is Helicobacter pylori. Remember this, okay? This is also a PYQ. Remember this, Helicobacter pylori. Now see here, this question. Sleeping sickness, we know sleeping sickness is caused by protozoa. We know that sleeping sickness is caused by protozoa. We had also seen this example, sleeping sickness. But what is the pathogen of sleeping sickness? Pathogen of sleeping sickness is trypanosoma. Pathogen of sleeping sickness is trypanosoma. This question is repeated like twice or thrice in PYQs, okay? So please remember this. And leishmania, what is leishmania? Leishmania, this protozoa, this pathogen leishmania is what? It causes what? Kala azar. It is also a protozoa. Kala azar. What is plasmodium? What is caused by plasmodium? Malaria. What it affects? Large intestine. Large intestine. Large intestine. Malaria. Okay, it is malaria. Large intestine. Where it enters? Wait. Malaria will do what is the pathogen? Plasmodium. It malaria. Who carries it? Female mosquito. Female mosquito. Who carries it? Female mosquito. It affects liver and RBC. It affects liver and RBC. We also saw that this it enters through human spores. Spores on our skin. Spores on our skin, right? It enters through spores on our skin, right? Now what they enter through RBC in liver, and what they do, sexual reproduction in liver, and then they start doing sexual reproduction. Yes, okay. Now see, helminthiasis diseases. What we will see now? Helminthiasis diseases. Now see, ascariasis. So this is a disease. Now what is the pathogen of it? We have to remember the pathogen of ascariasis. Okay. Now this is a stomach. You can see this picture here. This is a stomach. This is a stomach, and you can see this round worms here. Round worms in our stomach. Our intestine, you can see this round worms in our small intestine. Why are this? See now, pathogen is roundworm ascaris. What is the name? Ascaris. Mode of infection is contaminated food and water. Contaminated means dirty food and water causes ascaris. Ascaris means was roundworms in our intestine, where it affects small intestine. You can see this small intestine here it is, this roundworms are there in the stomach. Pain, what happens? Symptoms: internal bleeding, muscular pain. Muscular, our muscles pain very badly. Fever, blockage of the intestinal passage. Blockage of the intestinal passage means where it gets because of what it happens, contaminated food and water. Okay, contaminated food and water. What is its name? Ascaris. And what is the pathogen? Ascariasis is the name of the disease. And what is the pathogen? Ascaris. Roundworm. Where roundworms are there? In a small intestine. And because of contaminated food and water, very dirty, bad quality of food and water. It is very painful. It is very painful. Now I told you elephantiasis, where it gets affected, where the mosquito comes and bite on the limbs of the leg, and leg starts looking like an elephant. See, its size is increasing now. It is this much only, but its size has increased now. Okay, see now, see, filariasis. What we say it as? Filariasis. Pathogen is Vachyuria or filarial worm. Now see, affects what? Usually the lymphatic vessels of legs. And transmitting agent is female Culex mosquito. I told you, female Culex mosquito. Female means mosquito comes and bites on the limbs of the leg, and this leg starts this leg starts swelling. Okay, and it after some time it starts looking like a elephant leg. Elephantiasis. Okay. Now see, antigen, there are two concepts, antigen and antibody. Okay, now what is antibody? For example, virus is getting in a body. Okay, so what a body will do, what immune system will do, वो antibody start करता है forming. Antibody कैसे form करता है? मतलब अगर virus, for example यहाँ पे देखिए अभी virus, there is a virus. Okay, for example virus is entering human body. Virus is entering human body. human body, immediately it will it will become a living organism. Virus, if it is outside, it is dead, okay, but if it comes inside, it is living. Human body, then we know that virus is a foreign material. It is a foreign material. It is a foreign material, right? When viruses comes in, then what happens? Our body starts fighting with it. Our white blood cells starts fighting with it. When it starts fighting with it, we form antibody. We form antibody. Our body starts forming antibody. But what is antigen? They are glycoprotein, polysaccharides and lipoproteins, nucleic acids, which stimulate human system for antibody formation. ये क्या? What does antigen do? They stimulate antibody formation. They are foreign material. Huh? They are foreign material. That's why they stimulate. They are foreign material. Now see here, they are complex glycoproteins produced in response to antigenic stimulation. Antibody is represented as H2L2. It is represented as H2L2. I told you what is antibody. Antibody, when some virus come in to fight with that, our antibodies are created by our WBC. Okay, two chains held together by disulfide bond in shape of Y molecule. Y molecule के होते हैं वो. अभी वैक्सीजन और immunization. Now vaccination, when we take vaccination, now for example, we know that for viruses there is a protein coating, right? It does not, protein coat is there, it does not have cell wall, so we need vaccine. And but for this bacteria, what we need is antibiotics. Why antibiotics? Because bacteria has cell wall of peptidoglycan, right? For peptidoglycan, so what does antibiotic do? It directly comes and attacks the cell wall of the bacteria, so it can kill bacteria. But if virus do not have cell wall, it directly has protein material. So can antibody kill virus? No. That's why we have generated a vaccine. What is vaccine? What does vaccine do? It helps in increasing our immune system. Okay, it helps our body to produce antibodies, okay, to kill viruses in our body. Now say vaccination. The principle of immunization or vaccination is based on the property of memory of the human system. It is based on our human system. Now different people have different kind of human system. Some might have very nice, some might have very low. Like for example, some people are traveling for like only one day, they will get infected by various things like flu, cold and everything. But some people on traveling on regular basis also have strong immune system. Okay, the antibodies produced in the body against this antigen will neutralize the pathogenic agents during actual infections. What it is? Now listen. Here, the antibodies produced in body against this antigens. I told you antigen is what? Foreign material. Foreign material entering the body means what? Protozoa, virus, then fungi, lichens, then bacteria. Okay, see, will neutralize the pathogenic agents during actual infection. They will neutralize it. Now see, recombinant DNA technology has allowed the production of antigenic polypeptides of pathogens in bacteria or yeast. This is a technology, okay, DNA technology. Hepatitis B, there are several hepatitis like hepatitis A, B, C, D, E, like that. Vaccine produced by yeast. It is produced by yeast, means many vaccines are coming on basis of bacteria, fungi, yeast. Okay, by using this bacteria, fungi and yeast, we can make now many vaccines on viruses, because we know that viruses infect bacteria also, so bacteria will also produce antibody, right? Now see here, autoimmune system. What is autoimmune system? Listen now, what is autoimmune system? For example, some viruses getting infected to a person, then what that person will do, that person, its body will start creating antibodies, right? So it is autoimmune. That person will start creating its antibodies by itself. Its body will start creating, it will get a signal. So antibodies are formed against self antigen means for self antigen, you know now antigen is a foreign material. Antigen is a virus, bacteria, fungi, lichens, protozoa, right, which destroys self antigen. It destroys self antigen, but what is the side use of this? It destroys tissue also, tissue of the body. For example, people having viruses, okay, and they are not going in to a doctor, they are not going to a doctor, okay, and then they get recovered by themselves, but after some days the hand starts paining, their joints starts paining. Why? Because of autoimmunity. What is autoimmunity? They destroy self tissue of the body, is called as autoimmune disease. It is called as autoimmune disease, and it is caused mostly in old age. Okay, now see here, rheumat wait, just take a pen. Rheumatoid arthritis, now which affect many people in our society in a autoimmune disease. Is an autoimmune disease, I told you. Now only, what is autoimmune disease? Okay, thank you. I hope you might have understood everything. Now we will recall it once again. Okay, now we will recall it once again. So see, listen, there are diseases caused by viruses, then bacteria, then fungi and algae. Fungi and algae is a symbiotic relations, make a symbiotic relation and form a lichen. Lichen also causes skin diseases. Then protozoa, we saw various diseases formed by protozoa, like for example leishmania and all, sleeping sickness caused by trypanosoma. Okay, then bacteria like cholera, typhoid is caused by bacteria. Okay, so I hope you study this again and again, and if you want this notes, you will get on this app. Okay, so download this app on Play Store. You will get the link in description box. Thank you so much.